The Itrium user configuration is a soft configuration that is designed so that it can be changed. So the default user configuration when you create a new user or edit a user is one where you have the default user ID and password, and then you have some additional information where you can provide their first and last name and the editor they're going to use if they're editing content on the site. Now this configuration can be altered though, either by creating new users, a new type of user, or changing the schema on the existing user's type, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So the schema for the user type is connected to the actual type that you'll find under types, system types, and then user. And it's here where you have the definition of the information that we're going to collect via an XML schema when you create a new user. So for starters, you want to remove this schema and add a new one. Now the new one you're going to add, you have to put someplace. So by default, what we do with Itrium, we have a section under Site Category Roots, and there is an area called the Sandbox. And in the Sandbox, there is a system area that contains all the standard system configurations that you cannot change. And it's in here that you would find the schema for our users that is the default schema for the system. Now, if you want to create a custom schema for users, you would set up a custom schemas category if it's not already there, and then you would add the schema. Now, in this case, I already have one, but I'll just show you how it works. So in this folder, the only thing I can create is a script. And a script, again, in Itrium is an XML document, and then you basically create a new script. So you could say new script. You would give it a name, schema, user, and then you would save it and you would browse and upload one of our scripts. Now I already have a custom user schema here, so I'm just going to show how it works. So I'm going to browse and I'm going to upload from my local system. So I've got a schema that I stashed away in my work area under Site Admin, and I'm going to upload this. So this is replacing this XML document, and just so you can see what it looks like if you edit this schema, it literally is one of our default schemas, so you'd have to understand how this works. But this has got a configuration that's got an older version of the user definition in it that I want to reload into this system. So I've saved my changes, and now I have to go back and rewire the user type to say use the new schema. So just so you remember, when I was here on users and I said new user, this is my configuration of what was provided through the schema. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and change the user type. I'm going to edit it. I'm going to drop the existing schema, which is none. It's not going to delete it, but it's just not going to be there. I'm going to save my change. So now I have no schema. Now I'm going to come back and edit it. And now I can go through and I can pick a new one. So I'm going to wander down into my sandbox, into my custom section, into my schemas section, and then I'm going to grab my schema user and say use that one. Save my change. And now the last thing I'm going to do is purge my cache. That'll reload the whole user configuration. And now I can return to users. And when I say new user, I'll have these fields. You can see the default user ID is different now. And when I go to the form field, I have different fields here. So now I've got first and last name, but I also have email, phone, and the standard configuration. All right. One final thing. Every field that is displayed on this form does not have to be displayed depending on the schema. So some might be hidden. So if you go to the text field, let me put in an email address here. You'll see additional information that you can just manually overwrite. So like servlet, for instance, is not displayed through the form field here. All right, in this schema. All right, so that's it for updating the user schema. Simple and easy.